do you have any questions or remarks?
I have a question for both of you. Do you see images while you play?
Yeah, I do actually. Yeah, all kind of things. Sometimes for Beethoven, I think it's slightly different than Chopin. The image, I feel more, I see more buildings rather than colors. Certainly, of course, you see lots of colors in the music as well. But for those classic pieces, especially sonatas by Beethoven, yeah. And I think it's more about how to build this building, like what Maestro just been through to know the concept of this big construction.
Okay.
Yeah.
I very seldom have images. I'm more the other way around. I tend to hear music when I see images in live. When I see it, in other words, I don't think of, oh, in that passage, I see the mountains of Bavaria. It's usually when I see the mountains of Bavaria, I think of the A-flat section of this and such and such. But it's true. It's true. Do you have images when you play?
Yeah, that's right.
Well, sometimes when I play, I just think about like an image that, or maybe like a story that just like goes with what I'm playing at that moment and what I'm thinking.
Well, in the end, whether you imagine your own story in words or in sounds, in the end, it doesn't matter. What is important is that when you play, you're actually telling a story, and the listener gets your story.
Think more about Bavarian Mountain.
At one point you said, believe that you can do a crescendo on one note. Now I know physically that's not possible, but it sure sounded like it happened. Can you talk about that aspect of sound, the illusion of sound?
But then it wouldn't be an illusion anymore.
Yeah, that's right.
I play a little bit of piano, and that's why I'm asking.
When I was very young, if I can tell you a little personal anecdote. When I was very young, I think I must have been 14 at the time, I was taken to play for none other than Vladimir Horowitz. And I was very unhappy about the fact, because since my childhood I had been the greatest Rubinstein fan. And Rubinstein knew my parents since the time my mother was pregnant with me, and so since the day I came into this world, this was it for me, and to go and see Horowitz was, So I went already, in a negative frame of mind, and I was 14 and probably very childish, even more so than now. And
That's right.
I played for him, and he said some nice things, and he said some critical things, and at the end of the afternoon, he said something which I have never forgotten. He says, you must always have will. I thought, what, will? No, will, of course. Will. In other words, you must want. It's not enough to know there's a crescendo. It's not enough to do the crescendo. You must want. You must have the will to do that. And if you have the will and you have sufficient knowledge of how this phenomenon of sound functions, how it relates to silence, how it relates to each other, what is the relation between the vertical aspect of the music, which comes in chords, and the horizontal, the linear, that has to be, it's like a question of equilibrium, physical equilibrium in the human body. There has to be an equilibrium always, both physically and spiritually, between the vertical and the horizontal. And if you have the will to express things and to bring everything that you know and feel to this expression, and you have knowledge and are conscious of the laws of nature and the laws of the functioning of sound, then you create the illusion.